morning, America. I'm Charles Gibson.
I'm Diane Sawyer, and it's Tuesday, September 11th, 2001.
It is beautiful outside, perfect September day with lots of sunshine.
Other than that, it's kind of quiet around the country. We like quiet. It's quiet. It's too quiet.
I was a freshman in college at the University of Arkansas, and I was from Hot Springs, so this was really the first time that I had been away from home and away from my family for a long period of time. I'd walked downstairs and I heard a lot of people talking about a plane had accidentally flown into the trade center.
Hey, can I get you autograph also?
What the hell was that?
Sound like a plane crash.
On September 11th, I was currently living in Carrollton, Texas, which is a suburb outside of, it's just north of Dallas. And I was working for a television production company. Whenever I woke up that morning, I did the exact same thing that I would normally do. Every morning I listened to the Howard Stern radio show. And I turned it on, turned up the speakers. I had the shower turned on. I was ready to get in the shower, and I heard Howard Stern's voice. He was saying over and over, "Oh my God, people are falling from the sky. They're falling from the building. They're jumping out of the building. The humanity."
Oh, let me see.
Oh, no.
This is. But what happened, Tom? What do you know?
I mean, all I know is that apparently a plane. I've heard Channel 2 describe it as a. It looked like someone was driving, a drunk driver driving a car, flew into the building.
Was it a terrorist attack?
Look at that! Unbelievable. I mean,
That's a huge hole.
See what's going on.
And then I didn't take it serious until I heard somebody else in the background in the studio say, "Another plane has just hit the other tower."
Mass chaos and confusion at that point. I was actually watching it as the second plane hit, and I think it's just that instant realization that this isn't an accident. And, being 18 years old, I'd learned in history about all these events of things that had happened on American soil, really one of the only ones being Pearl Harbor. And so just that instant feeling, kind of that pit in your stomach that something is very wrong, and it's happening in our own country, was very unnerving.
I remember it was hard for me to, I sat down on the couch and I stayed glued to that broadcast for probably what seemed like an eternity. It may have been 30, 45 minutes. And what I saw was the World Trade Center, and there was a giant hole at the top of it, and smoke was coming out of it. I went outside on my balcony in Dallas, or wherever you live near Dallas. All you can really hear whenever you go outside are two things: traffic and planes. Both things were eerily quiet. There was hardly any traffic on the road, and there were no planes in the sky.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're looking at a live picture from Washington, and there is smoke pouring out of the Pentagon.
They had started making phone calls and telling people to come to the house. And so I went over to the house and spent all day sitting in our TV room with 60 other girls watching the events unfold all day long. And President Bush was in the air at that point, and they weren't saying where he was located, which I knew at that point was really important that they weren't saying where he was located, because then the Pentagon had been hit. And then shortly after that, we knew that another plane had been taken down by passengers, and we were curious where that was meant to be.
I went to work. And everybody, whenever I walked into work, everybody was in a courtyard where we had a giant monitor, and people were gathered in that, and just the looks on people's faces were, it's like their soul had been ripped out of them. And we watched, we were quiet, then we would talk a little bit, and we just kept watching, trying to find answers, and then the towers fell.
Take two. Take 2 and 2, 1. This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us.
Billowing smoke rising, and I'll tell you that I can't see that second tower.
Hello?
I hope I live. I hope I live. It's coming down on me. Here it comes. Getting behind a car.
In Connecticut, as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you. I can hear you. The rest of the world hears you. And the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
It's so funny. I read an article this morning that said that we would never wish for another September 11th, but that we should be wishing for another September 12th. And I can identify with that so much, and I think that most Americans can. We were so unified. You couldn't find an American flag in any store. They were sold out everywhere. I think about those times, and I know that people reflect on that as kind of a scary point, and I think most of us reflect back on the unity and the value that we had, and the love we had for our country.
I had really good friends that were born and raised in New York, right? So whenever I went to visit them, I said, hey, I want to go down to pay respects as close as we can get. And they said, sure. We went down there, and people always said, the smell of Ground Zero had a certain thing. It smelled like burnt electrical wire and concrete, like concrete dust. And the smell was awful. I still have that. It burned in my memory as well. When we talk about September 11th, 2001, I know what I was doing. I'll never forget it. Even if I probably get dementia one day, it's burned inside my brain somewhere. That memory will never leave me.
We're not focused on the terrorists and what they did, but we focus on the adversity that our country went through and the steps that people took personally and as groups, as firefighters, as police officers. But that's what we focus on. Wells Crowther, the lacrosse player who worked in the trade center but really wanted to be a fireman and sacrificed his life to save 12. Just those stories. I think that's what we focus on because those are life lessons, and I think it's important that we honor those people forever.